Hi, we have here a Janome Professional Memory Craft 6600 which has an error 01. This is normally a fuse inside the machine, and I'm going to go through how to get in there and replace that fuse. Hopefully that's what it is. Now, just a caveat, I'm going to show you how I do this. I take no responsibility for anybody who does this on their machine and breaks it and can't repair it. But if you have no experience with fixing electronic equipment or fine mechanical equipment like a sewing machine, then don't attempt this. Take it to a Janome or sewing machine service centre and have a professional do it. It shouldn't be expensive to have that done. Okay, so for doing this, I have a multimeter. I have one of these magnetic bolt and screw holders. I have a torch, big flat blade screwdriver. There are a couple of screws in this, can be tight. A posi drive screwdriver, looks very much like a Phillips head, but it's not. And just a small fine flat blade screwdriver. So let's make a start. One screw on the side here. In that case, I've taken all the cotton and bobbins and everything off the top. Now obviously the first thing you have to do here is get two parts. Alright, comes off there, and the first trick, we have a little connector here for the bobbin. I think that's the bobbin winding motor. So put that to one side. Okay. Take off this guard. It may not even be necessary, but best to do it. Now we have the right hand side of the machine. There are three screws on the right hand side of the machine. The first one, the top one, is a short screw, and the other two are a little bit longer. So if you just push in a little bit on the back here, that will just pop off nicely. As I said, there are two screws at the bottom. They're the slightly bigger one. Now we'll just pop those in there so we know that they're the ones for there. Okay, so we've now got the sides off and the top off. We can concentrate on taking off the front of the machine. Okay, so there's a few screws to do that. Let's have a look. There's a top one here. You just have to loosen these because they, if you undo them all the way, you'll never get them back on. Okay, now way inside the machine, I'm not sure whether the camera will pick it up there, but there's one. So you've got a hole here. Put your screwdriver in through there and just loosen that screwdriver. Sorry, that screw. You've got another one on this side, you can see in there, I hope. Just loosen that again. Okay, and that's all you got. Now it's loose. Okay, so now you have to be careful of cables. Okay, so there are two cables. There's one here on the side of the bar, one at the top, and there's another little tricky one that's in here. So you have to pull that off. Now these clips, or these plugs, generally you can pull them out if you're careful. Just pull them straight out. Now what I generally do with something like this is I would take photographs of the board so I can see where the various cables go. Now they normally go into a connector that matches the same colour as them. So as you can see, we have that on both sides. Okay, so the fuse we're looking for is behind here. So let's undo these cables. Okay, cables. Can't get hold of the actual plug itself. Pull the plug rather than pulling on the wires. I'll turn that around maybe so I don't move. Put a nail in there and pop them out. Okay, so now we've got, I think, all the wires. There's another clip on the other side here, and you do have plugs in the bottom down here, but you don't have to undo those, and you wouldn't really want to play. They're the mains coming in, so these are the two that are quite tight. Just have to get them loose like that. See whether or not I can. I didn't magnetise my screwdriver before I started, did I? I don't have a pair of pliers. Anyhow. Protective bit of board there. This is the main power supply board, I think, so it has these protective like cardboard sheets. So okay, now if we look down on the inside of this board, there's one connector here. You need to really pop that one off, although you can get it. No, probably do it. Okay, so there are 3 fuses in here. F1, F2 and F3 is behind here, but this is the main one we're interested in, so we're just going to carefully pop that fuse out. Make sure that this has been powered off for some time, because you have got AC coming in underneath this, and if these caps are charged up you could get a zap from them, so please be careful. Alright, so that's F1, which is, oh look at that, it's gone running away underneath the machine. Gee, it vanished, look at that. It's gone all the way out the back. It did. Alright, if you have a DVM you've got to test some way. I'm using the diode checker, because if it gets a short it squeals. So that fuse is definitely gone. Okay, so we need some new fuses obviously. Now the fuse, sometimes they're called a 2AG fuse. This is a 3.15 amp. It's a standard fuse, slow blow, but it's contained in this ceramic casing, which is full of sand. So if the fuses go, then they're pretty quick and they don't have any external. So that one works fine. Now just a point on this, that this fuse normally only blows if the machine has had a bind up or jam of some kind. So if it hasn't, just be wary, because you're going to replace that and there may be something else wrong with the machine. So if it blows the fuse when you put it back together, don't just keep changing the fuses, take it to a service centre. Alright, we're going to put all these pins back in. Just take your time. You want to make sure that you get them all in, and you don't want to miss any, because putting the case back together and everything, having to take it apart again to to do everything again, so why don't you... This is going to be very boring. I will mention, as a lot of people do, if you like my channel, I know I do cooking videos, I do dash cam videos, I do tutorials on different things like this. If you want to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up, that would be great. You obviously can't do that unless you have a YouTube account. So it's easy enough to get a YouTube account. Just sign up for one and then you'll be able to like and subscribe to people's videos. I'm just going to put one screw in the bottom here, and I'm just going to make sure that that little cable in the back there didn't come out. It didn't, which is good. So I'm just starting those two because I want to make sure that this goes into the right place, and I also want to make sure that this sits in here properly. Okay, so I'll push that back. There's two little plastic points that protrude out and allow that to be held in place. Okay. Of course, I'm not the one who operates this machine, so I have to get someone in to test it. Okay, so that should be our fuse replaced. Okay, so now we've done that, we've got to very carefully put the front panel back on. And now the tricky thing with this front panel is this connector here. These little ones can be quite messy. Now they are keyed, so you can't put them in upside down. So it means you're actually trying to get them in the right way. That's difficult equipment I've worked on over the years. This little one is right up there with them. A bit of music while I try to get this one. Okay, so those three connectors there are now in place nicely. So now we just have to slide these back on. That's it. Now because we didn't pull those screws out, we're not going to have any issue. So we tighten those up. I'm going to go in there. And this side. Now, as I said, that information may be different for different machines, so just be wary. Okay, so we've done the top. We'll put the side back in place. Okay, and push it in at the front here. Sorry. So push it in on this side, and at the back you'll see there are two little clips there. So just push the case a little bit, and that'll clip in. Now, like with everything, just turn it a few turns just to get it to start. That way, okay, and once they're all started, you know you're going to have no problems. You can do them up tighter. Okay, come back over this side, and we'll put this one back on. There's nothing major here. that done. And now we'll put the top back on. Now remember the bobbin motor. Okay, so we put that one in. We've got some little clips at the front here, so you need to make sure that they sit in. I might have put that too far in, did I? Yep. It should be there. Well, gotta get that right. Oops. Appear to be catching that on something. I'm not sure what the... There you go. See? Nothing. It doesn't always go according to plan. Not sure what the story is there. There we go. It's just that, it's just a fraction out of its position. Okay. So don't ever force anything like this, because if you force it, you're destined to break something, and that's not good. Everything should just flow back together. Okay, and then see, I had that upside down. You got the gauge here, so just to make sure that gauge goes in behind there. This sits back on here. There you go. So that should be it. I will. I'll get the missus to test it and see how we go. Thanks for your time. So just tips, as I said, take your time. The screws are in, some of those screws are hidden, and if you're very careful and just undo them a little bit, they'll stay captive. They don't have washers floating around. They're the type of screw that have the washer attached to them. So that should all work very smoothly. Take your time and do it. Good luck. If you enjoyed the video and it works for you, please give me a thumbs up if you've got an account on YouTube. Any comments you like. If not, give me a thumbs down and let me know what you think I could do better. Thanks for watching. Now the big test, I suppose. We'll see if it works. I don't know. Is that working? Okay. All good. The eyesight test.
I don't have my specs on, so it's a bit trickier for me. Have you got eyesight?
Yep, that's it. It's through. It's through. Screen's just gone off, that's all.
Okay, the test.